Yo everyone, this is your boy DJ Cool Thing. Welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. This is my next ever product review since the MacBook Air, which I reviewed in 2019 on January the 3rd when I first purchased it. And it's time that we do a product review on the Pioneer DDJ SR2. And in this video series, we are going to take multiple products that I have purchased throughout my entire DJ history of being a working DJ. We're going to review each product that I haven't reviewed and go through my thoughts on it, on using it in a real life situation at a DJ gig or anything like that. So this will help my YouTube channel and help my content while we're in quarantine. Just do product reviews. So this one is of the Pioneer DDJ SR2. It's a great controller. I've used it countless times over the last year, and it's been a really great controller. I mean, I love the effects, where you can add, special effects into your mixing and make it more special, make it more professional-like, and, spice up your mixing a little bit using these different effects. You can even do that with your scratching. Add different effects to your scratching and really spice up your scratching instead of making it dull and boring. And of course you got your grid buttons, which is your adjust button, and also your slide button for your grid. Shift button, sync button, cue button, play button, your pads for your hot cues, your rolls, slicer, sampler, your tempo slider, which also changes the pitch if you don't have the key lock on. If you have the key lock on, then it doesn't change at all, just the tempo, which is how fast or slow a song goes. Reset for resetting everything. Key sync, key shift. If you have a song that is at a different key, then you press the key shift or the key sync, which will match up the keys so they can blend in together. So you got the pads for cues, rolls, slicer, and sampler, which is all through software, whether you're using Serato or Virtual DJ or DJ Pro 2 by Algorithm or PC DJ. Any of those will work with the SR2, but for me, I highly recommend Serato because it is native, and it's also got that Serato pitch and time. I mean, it's a great controller. As you can probably see, I love the silver metal jog wheels. I love how high quality they feel, and I love how lifelike they feel, because they feel like an actual vinyl turntable. I love how awesome they spin, and it's really awesome having stuff like that. And of course, you got the needle search, and all of those can be found on the other deck, like the effects, your beat knob, your tempo, your needle search, your grid buttons, your sensor button, your shift button, key sync, your sync button, cue, play pause, cues, rolls, slicer, and sampler. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 8 of them on each deck. And in the mixer section, you have your load buttons for decks 1 and deck 2. You get your browse knob, which will browse through your entire library, your back button, your load prepare button, your trim knob, your EQ, high, mid, and lows for each deck, your filter knob for each deck, and of course you get your up faders for deck 1 and deck 2. And of course you get your crossfader, which to go from one song to the next and blend them in together. You can also, when you put them in the middle, it'll blend the tracks together. But if you put the crossfader on that side, it plays this deck, and on the other side it plays the other deck. So it's got that key lock, which does really work. Some of this stuff may not work properly on other pieces of software like Virtual DJ or DJ Pro 2. So I highly recommend Serato. It works best with Serato. With all of this other stuff that is on the SR2. Get your power button, your DC-12V for power, into the wall to help power the internal mixer, your USB for connecting to the computer, your unbalanced microphone input for connecting your microphone system, your channel 1 and channel 2 RCA inputs for connecting turntables and CDJs, because it does have Serato DVS support, your XLR outputs, which is why I needed it, was for XLR, and also Serato DJ Pro support, and it's a 2-channel mixer. Your master RCA output, and of course your booth output, which is TRS. It'll help connect to a booth speaker. And you got your lock port here, which is nice. Here's the back of it. See, it's got some nice ports on it. So yeah. And what's really cool about the loops is you can loop the beat of one track to another track. The possibilities of this controller are endless. And as you can see, it's a nice, professional grade controller. See, I like the size of it. I love having the XLR outputs connecting to the Iontope PA Maxes, which would be another product review. We'll talk about the Iontope PA Maxes and why I think it's the best beginner speaker system to start off with if you're just starting out as a DJ. And I also like how it's got Serato support. I like how it's a 2-channel controller instead of a 4-channel, which the 4-channel would be kind of confusing to me. So I chose a 2-channel mixer since I was coming from the Newmark Party Mix DJ controller. And I used that for a little over a year. And then I upgraded the SR2 in July of last year. And of course, it's got 4 deck support with decks 1, 2, 3, and 4. And of course, on each deck, you got your phono and line inputs. So you got your selection between decks 1, deck 2, deck 3, deck 4. And also your phono and line to switch between that for connecting turntables and CDJs. And use this as a mixer. So when you have like CDJs and turntables, you can use this for decks 2 and 3 and have a nice setup, a nice unique setup with the Pioneer DDJ SR2. It's a great controller, and I love how high quality the jog wheels feel. Very, very nice, very high quality. I mean, this is coming from a guy who used the Newmark Party Mix, where that thing was all plastic. That thing was so super teeny tiny. And I couldn't even use it anymore because I was outgrowing it with my hands, with the size of my hands. So I had to get a much larger controller. That's another reason why I purchased the SR2, because it was much larger. It was basically like the Newmark Party Mix, but it was much larger. It's got XLR, it's got Serato DJ Pro support. It has nice high quality jog wheels, and I just think this is a good entry into the professional DJ market when it comes to equipment. So there's a lot of things I like about this controller after using it for so long. So with that said, I mean, we did the overview, and now it's time to talk about the software into things. It comes with Serato DJ Pro. And when you first get the controller, you have to download Serato DJ Pro, and of course you have to go to the Pioneer's website and download the audio drivers for the SR2, which doesn't take that long at all, by just going down to Google Chrome, and you would go to the Pioneer website. You sign up for a Pioneer DJ account, you add the SR2 to your account, and then you press get latest software updates, download the audio drivers, and that'll be it. And then of course you got your Serato DJ Pro, and you restart Serato DJ Pro to make sure that the audio drivers apply to the software, and it works super duper well. And what I do like about the SR2 is that it's got Serato DJ Pro pre-installed into the hardware, because you plug it. It's plug and play with Serato, where you plug in the USB and then it automatically gets recognized by Serato DJ Pro. And then of course once you buy it, you have to put in the Serato Pitch and Time voucher code that it comes with. And I have never had a single problem with Serato when using the SR2 because it works natively with that piece of software. It was released, this SR2 was released in December of 2018, so it makes it almost 2 years old, which means it's still being sold even today. It's still a good controller, even though it may not be as popular as some of the 4-channel controllers, but it is a very popular option for a Pioneer 2-channel controller. That in the DDJ 800. So I was picking between the 800 or the SR2, so I went on with the SR2 since it does have Serato DJ Pro support. Since I was mainly a Serato user, I was coming from Serato DJ Lite, and it's just a great piece of software to use. It's very intuitive, very simple to use. With the SR2, just plug it in and start using the SR2 with the controller. And of course, I had all my Serato crates within Serato. It was a simple drag and drop from all my folders, and then of course it was a lot of organization with my Serato crates. I'm putting some of the unused Serato crates into a main Serato crate that I already had, and they're all together. So my Serato DJ Pro library is all organized, very easy to organize, and of course you got your your crate button, which builds a Serato crate, a smart crate. So you got, I'm going to tell you the overview. So we have a crate button, a smart crate button. The smart crate button builds smart crates based on different rules, and it really helps build an automatic Serato crate. And of course you get your entire library view button. Of course you get analyze your files. That's what you need to do when you first get the software, is analyze your files to get the key information and the beats per minute and all the other information that is missing. Of course you get your settings, which is set key, set beat crit, beats per minute. You get your files button, which searches between your files on your hard drive, and your browse, your prepare, your history, and it's amazing. So, and of course you get your, in practice mode, you get deck 1 and deck 2, and when you plug it in, it's 2 and 4. It goes from 2-deck mode and 4-deck mode. My Serato, which is basically your account on Serato DJ Pro, you have compatible hardware, please attach it now, which is the SR2. Compatible hardware, if you have compatible hardware, please attach it now, and right now it's the SR2 from Pioneer DJ. It's a great controller, so I give it a perfect score because it's that good. You get your expansion packs, my products, and so much more. So when you plug it in, it's automatically searchable with the SR2 from Pioneer DJ. Of course, you get your help if you want help with Serato, your settings, which we're not going to mess with, and it all works super well with the SR2. So if you're looking for a 2-channel controller, make sure that you, like if you're looking for a 2-channel controller, I highly recommend getting the SR2. It's that great of a controller. So if you're looking for a 2-channel Serato controller from Pioneer DJ, the SR2 is definitely the one you want. But if you want record box, then there's the 800. So the SR2 is perfect for someone who's looking for a 2-channel controller that has Serato support, XLR outputs for connecting to a PA speaker system, and you get your RCA for connecting to your beginner speakers or studio speaker, your balanced booth output for connecting to a booth speaker, your inputs of RCA for turntables and CDJs, your microphone input for your microphone system, the USB, your USB port for connecting to your computer to use with software, your DC-12V to use it as an external mixer for using CDJs. You just take it out of the, there's the DC-12V to use with your CDJs or your turntables, and of course you got your power on and off button. It's a very basic 2-channel controller. So with that said, I would highly consider purchasing the SR2 if you haven't already. So with that said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was just a quick review on the Pioneer DJ SR2. I'll catch you guys very, very soon. Till next time, DJ Cool Thing out.